Hello there, and welcome back to another edition of VE League, presented by Metal Gear Speedrunners. I am your host, D-Limes13. I am joined by Apache Smash on comms. How you doing, dude?
Really good. It's good to be back. I've missed the league quite a lot. A certain American holiday took precedent over the stream last week, and some other holidays will be taking precedent over the coming weeks. So let's enjoy it while we can.
All right, and the runners are underway. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about the runners?
So, MayuuChaan,
All right.
relatively new runner to the game. In comparison to everyone else, I don't think it's fair to call her a new runner at this point. She's been playing a while, but comparatively to everyone else in the league, she's certainly the newest player. She had some good times. I think her PB is a low 105. That's my guess.
I think it's a low 106, low 106. So,
I was gonna say high 105, but I didn't want to be wrong in the wrong direction. You know what I mean?
well, hey, maybe tonight's the night she'll get that 105. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll certainly see. JosephJoestar316. Bit of a rise in Joestar in the very easy league. He has taken very few losses. He's played exceptionally well. One of the more consistent players as well. I think his average stands at like a mid-high 103, right? And that's an average. So he's played his absolute best in every race that he's had thrown at him so far.
Yeah, he's got a 6-1 record, upsetting Platonic Guy in kind of weird circumstances last week, but definitely a capable player and somebody to look out for come playoff time for sure.
I totally forgot that situation even happened. What a shame for Platonic Guy. I know Joe felt quite bad about it as well. But even on the day, he was a tough man to beat.
So it looks like Joe got a clean left side loop Olga. Mayu got a clean right side Olga, it looks like. So two pretty even Olgas to start with.
It's good to be back, right, on the old navigational deck. Seeing what side the Olgas land on.
It looks like no dav drops for either competitor, getting that animation cancel. As they make their way to the engine room, not a whole lot going on. Huh?
Is it the left side screen that's like more prone to getting dav drops?
It seems like it. I counted up the statistics today, not for dav drops, but just for wins overall. If you happen to be on the left side of the screen, you have won 19 times. The right side has won 15 times. But I have seen more dav drops for whatever reason if the player happens to be on the left side of the screen, just for whatever reason. It means nothing, but it's just a weird quirk.
Bit of superstition thrown in there. It's always fun.
Alright, so both getting ready to head into the engine room. We'll be seeing the swag strat out of Joe where he drops in front of the guard. Had to readjust just a little bit and then shoot the radio out to eventually get a caution and skip a cutscene. Mayu's going to do the good old 1974 strat where you just trank the guard and run to the end of the engine room and take the cutscene, and loses about a second, but not too big of a deal.
It's proven in the league to be just the safer method. You rarely see anyone mess that strat up, whereas when you go for the modern cutscene skip strat, it's very simple to make a mistake just because of all the extra steps involved in executing it.
I don't think we've seen anybody. Has anybody blown up the ship?
No, and I'm glad you said that after they both got past.
Yes, yeah. I broadcasters like super like yes, yeah. We don't do broadcasters jinx here, so we wait until the event and then we mention the event. We're smart.
Because in previous runs, for example, was it Makarov versus Tino, where we said no one's blown up the Shell 1-2 connecting bridge yet, and then they both blew it up.
Yes, like, and I think one of them did it twice, I think. So, yeah. But Two clean deck twos, done in two different ways. Joe with the more newer strat, Mayu with the older strat. But Guard Rush, let's see how these competitors handle this.
Guard Rush can result in such massive swings in races. It's very easy to lose a lot of time on. If you happen to miss what we call like a cycle of the guard, where the guard stands up from behind the box and then goes back down, you want to get him on the first try.
I think Mayu was holding L1 too long and not able to adjust to the guard in the back, and now this is going to be a really long Guard Rush.
It's not just that, but the auto aim.
Ooh, she only has 2 bullets.
It's not just the auto aim. It's not like if you're holding L1. Sometimes it will just. Did she save one SOCOM bullet? Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah,
that's smart. It gives you a get out of jail free card if you mess up the ladder glitch.
Yes. So it was slower ending, but it would be a time saver if ladder glitch does go haywire.
Yeah, you want to be safe with a room like that, because once you're in that out of bounds position on the ladder glitch, it's very difficult to get out of it.
And she did not screw it up. Joe is going for the domino roll strat in hold 2. And Mayu messed up the flick shot. Ooh, not good. Not good.
Start of the league, she didn't go for that flick shot. She used to go for the safety around the guard, so it's nice to see her picking up these really optimal and high level strats. And it can take some getting used to. I've seen, pretty much everyone's messed up the flick shot at some point. You messed it up against plywood, right?
I did, yeah. So, okay, awkward. That was a hairy hold 1, that's for sure. But she is out finally.
Yeah, if you're a runner of this game, you get this. Your entire body cringes when you see Snake touch one of the Marines and he turns around, because we're all like anticipating a continue. So this was another strat that at the start of the league she didn't do. The hold 2 hold up strat. Way more consistent than the domino, and the domino doesn't come out that much ahead, and you have to do it perfectly. We're all doing, me, you, quite a few other runners, we're just doing the hold up strat, even if we would go for domino in full runs, right? Just for
correct.
Race safety.
It's safer in race play for sure. Like I'll tip my hand tonight and say I'm gonna go for hold up strats against Platonic, barring if he's way behind early. It's just safer. It's a half a second time save. It's not worth a continue in a race. Can't reset a race.
Yeah, there's absolutely no messing around when it comes to the tanker, and now they are both out safely. It's a scary place to be.
It is.
The tanker is a rough opener to the game.
But Plant dies down a little bit, at least at the start. Not a whole lot going on for the first maybe 5 minutes or so until the bomb disposal section. A lot of codecs, a lot of cutscenes, tutorial stuff. Just kind of chill and relax and get your movement in order, get your bearings in order, and just kind of reset yourself a little bit after that wild tanker.
Yeah, it always gives you a chance to stare intently at the opponent's screen, I feel.
It's the
And Joe, of course, king of memes, just fooling around with the guard while waiting for the elevator to come down. As long as you don't get an alert here, then you don't lose any time. You just have to kill time any way you can.
Things a little bit differently in here. Joe has his signature moves.
Of course.
Exactly.
Joe is up on the roof, obtaining his M9 there. Ended the tanker on the USP, that way he can quick equip the M9 on the roof because it thinks that something else is on his previous. Little menu trick or optimization. You can actually go back and get the M9 early in the docks while you're waiting for the elevator to come down. It's not too useful unless you do like an M9 Fat Man. It gives you extra bullets, but it's more or less just a meme. Now we get to see the raw power of this guard's vision from Mayuu's speed.
If you are not right up against the, essentially right up against the elevator, You can be facing it, but you have to be that close. If you're one step closer towards the guard, he does see you and shoot you, and you lose about a second.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Joe is going for a slightly newer revision. Most runners would normally cartwheel out of that door and then answer the codec call as their mid cartwheel, but it's actually a little bit faster if you try to answer the call on frame 1 and then do the cartwheel. So he's little optimizations he's starting to incorporate into the run. Can definitely benefit him later on down the line.
Yeah, it was Bestwick, the runner Bestwick, who first started doing that. But I feel like the evolution of like getting first frames on things like mandatory codecs kind of came with our generation of runner. So in the past, it was all about like cartwheeling through stuff, momentum conservation. You know, always be moving, no matter what. Like always make the game keep you moving. So you would roll through codecs and answer them mid codec. Then Bestwick realized that you could anticipate the codec, touch the exact spot where it appears, as we do in other areas of the game, like the Jejunum, and then he could clear all the way to the load zone in one cartwheel, which is a time save of next to nothing. It's slightly faster, but it's just more of a mindset change that's happened to this game as new runners have come in.
So you're seeing Joe here do a more traditional bomb disposal route where you go clockwise instead of counterclockwise. There is a conveyor belt route that doesn't really save time per se. Sometimes it's easier for some people. Joe got shot there on accident, a little unfortunate. I don't think you'll see Mayu do the conveyor belt route where you go counterclockwise, pick up some boxes, and then just do it in reverse. I do want to give a quick shout outs to Underwater Smoking with the Twitch Prime sub to the channel. We do appreciate that very much.
Of course, yeah, that's something that's changed with the channel now. Is affiliate, you can sub to it. We've got some cool emotes. Definitely some more on that tomorrow and over the course of next weekend, where we're beginning our affiliate celebrations on the channel with our marathon MGT. And we'll definitely talk to you more about that at the end of tonight. We do have a few surprises in store in tonight's stream. Let's say that. A few surprises, maybe one, maybe two.
Yeah, so like we said, 2 matches on slate for tonight. We got myself versus Platonic afterwards. But be sure to stick around after that race because we do got some stuff lined up for you. Mayu getting an strut D, no problem. Joe is just on the roof, defused the helipad. Bomb, no problem. Doing the 1 cartwheel down the stairs because that's what cool kids do.
Yeah, it is really the Cool Kids Club. That's not the Cool Kids Club. Rolling into that wall. That's the Uncool Kids Club. Don't do that.
You gotta really be mindful of your rolls or cartwheels or aerials, as some people want to call them. It only saves 5/100ths of a second on a successful cartwheel. Over a second if you mess it up. I think Joe's going to play it safe. Yeah, he's going to play it safe on the bridge. EF bridge, you can do a few different things there. Pick up Claymore Mines, try to damage cancel them, or just go around the pillar and play it safe. Joe will likely pick up the Claymore Mine on the way back. So yeah.
Who's there?
There's all kinds of things going on with that EF bridge in the modern game. There's about 5 different ways to do it at this point.
Joe nearly dropped in front of that guard, so I spotted him briefly, but just trampled on his head.
The only benefit of dropping in front of him is you get iframes, so he can't kick you, but it's not a good position to be in.
No. But give Mayu credit. She's definitely in the ballpark, despite the holds issues and guard rush, I guess. So still relatively close despite the issues.
Yeah, that's like, categorically one of the most punishing sections of the game. it gets everyone at some point. I think I'd like to say, I don't know this for sure, but I'm pretty sure everyone's had a continue in the holds now. Every single racer.
I think so, yep. I had mine week 2, so I've seen plenty of people with issues.
Yeah, I had my first one against Tino. So I managed to stave off the evil tanker continues for a while. But
oh, that's a bad kick.
You can't do that, yeah.
Yikes.
You gotta anticipate him turning.
Just leave, who cares? You don't get an alert. What are you doing that for?
Come on, Joe.
What's that? Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so as we know by this point, but I'm sure I'll just mention it again. Alerts don't stick between rooms, so if you get an alert, the best way to move on with the game is just get out of the room as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, he already shot the radio out, so the guard really couldn't do much except run, so he just wasted a few seconds for no reason, but he's still got a decent lead, doesn't matter too much.
The European extreme beast taking over. Target the radio, knock the guard out.
He wants that flying squirrel rank.
Yeah. Come on, Joe, we don't do that here.
Oh, and Mayuuk the same thing!
No way!
What? But Mayuuk did the smart thing and ran out of the room. There you go. A couple seconds gain.
That's the BE experience right there. Yeah, that guard, he has 3 positions and they're on a very, very short cycle. So, generally you only want to run through him if you see him, he hasn't quite stood still yet, and you'll have time. But if he's already standing still as you approach him, just don't bother. Abandon it, go round. It's slightly slower, but not as slow as getting kicked. Or try and give him a roll through.
Could even, like, hold him up, too, so... Nice cartwheel from Joe going into the sensor. That's a tricky angle. And saves like 0.1 of a second.
Yeah, it's really not easy to get that cartwheel. It's such a specific position. That's one I've tried to game out and work out where you roll from, but it's an awkward one. One of the coolest looking aerials in the game. Mayu with safety chaff, she's not taking chances. You don't need to pick the chaff grenades up on the BC bridge. You don't actually need to pick up the chaff grenades at all. You can do this entire route without chaffs. Chaffs are a little bit safer for all your sections after Harrier, but as we've seen a few runners now, you don't need them at all.
Yeah, chaffless can be a little tricky to pull off. You are guaranteed on getting shot at least once, but you do have to do like a quick shot on the guard during the perimeter after Harrier, or do like a knock strat, which does end up being pretty slow. But generally it's pretty safe if you want to go chaffless. But getting hit by the Claymore mines on the roof where the chaff grenades are, and that's ideally where you want to pick them up, very, very slow. You lose about 3.5 seconds by getting hit. You only lose about 2 by picking up those chaff grenades on the BC bridge, so you cut your losses.
Here's a fun question for the chat. In 2018, how many chaff grenades did we use in the very easy route?
Oh my god.
Do you know?
Oh man. 48.
Yeah, it felt like it.
Do
you know how many we use, Lambs?
Don't get me wrong, chaff grenades are good, but they're not that necessary. I believe the correct answer is 4? No, more than that. 6?
It's 6. We used to use 6 chaff grenades.
It's 6 because you use...
Strut D.
Strut D. 1 with Emma, 1 after Emma, 2 during perimeter, at least 5. Where's the 6th?
So you have to pick up, if you want 6. Sorry, you use 5, but you have to pick up 6.
Yeah. So you got a freebie chat for whatever you want to use. Anyway, Joe starting his Fortune fight. You do a punch buffer to start. That way Fortune shoots out the lights, the forklift, all that stuff. And then you bait her to shoot the barrels. And Joe likes the meme while he does it, of course.
I feel like he's getting better at doing that animation every week. He's like improving his technique.
Oh, he's just gonna go right in her face, duck, meme, and wait for the fight to end. Alright, good fortune from Joe. Mayu just getting started with hers, so the gap's around a minute. Not
About
too
1
bad.
minute, yeah.
Yeah. And Joe... Did Joe pick up chaffs on the BC bridge?
I don't remember if he did. I want to say he didn't, and he's going chaffless.
Guess we'll see the next time he does menus. Looks like Fortune gave Mayu some additional dialogue. Shouldn't really result in much lost time, if any.
Sorry if you can hear the rain outside. It's absolutely throwing it down. Yeah.
It's the enemy. I need help.
Can't hear it at all. Would love to hear it, but we cannot. Alright, Joe played it safe on the EF bridge before. He's going to pick up the Claymore mine there.
Bit of an awkward roll to the Claymore. You want to really be against that right wall as you approach it.
Yeah, and he had to adjust an extra, like, half step too, so minor time loss. We'll probably be seeing a lethal Fat Man out of Joe, where he uses the SOCOM to defeat the fat guy. Probably the same out of Mayu as well. You can use the M9, but it is very, very tricky.
Well, Mayu got the damage cancel, but she already has the shaft grenades, so she won't need to pick those up.
And Joe crouching, doesn't get the fast bomb. And his fight will begin. He's going to go for the newer setup. Shoots Fat Man once. Defuses the bomb. Gets a slow bomb, unfortunately. But just having trouble getting him to the ground. Alright, that'll end that. And then last bomb. Gets one more fast bomb. But not the fastest fight in the world. But still decent nonetheless.
There's plenty of time to be lost when Fat Man goes south and gets away from you like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that setup is newer. I first saw a Platonic guy do it. Why do you use a magazine? What was that?
I have absolutely no idea.
I not sure what that was.
That might be a new secret club, like the One Cartwheel Club. That might be the magazine after Fat Man Club. We're probably not like, good enough to kind of be in on that club. Hopefully one day.
And before Blue Metal knows something about magazines we don't know about. So anyway,
we don't want your magazine strats. Keep those in TTS.
Right.
We don't want those.
So Mayu doing the new setup as well. Taking her time a little bit on the shots, but gets good RNG. And a pretty decent fight. A little far away for a fast bomb, but not too bad overall.
I think it will come out slightly faster than Joe's overall, just with how long he lost that
Joe, come on. You need to use D-pad there. Like, just don't. Jeez. Always use D-pad on that bridge when you're going
to the core. If Mayu throws a magazine right now, I'm going to want to know what the hell's going on.
No, she didn't. Oh. But yeah, as I was trying to say before, the reason for the newer Fat Man setup is the RNG seems to be a little more consistent, a little more favorable patterns, a little more consistent on where he goes, but you can still really screw you over.
Huh? Yo, what are you doing?
All right, let's see. Joe, he's got a Claymore. Let's see if he uses it. He is going to use it, and All right, he'll do a punch buffer here. So he's going to intentionally get an alert, and then what that's going to do is let the attack team go up and investigate the elevator, keeping the elevator door open, and then he doesn't even have to pray for good RNG for the elevator. It is faster than just waiting for the elevator standard, but if you happen to get a fast elevator, which is incredibly rare in this game,
So
it's slightly slower than that, so most of the time it ends up being quicker.
well, what would you estimate a fast elevator in this game? Like 10%, less?
8% ish.
Yeah,
Like it's bad.
I'd say you get like 1 every 2 runs, so it's probably like 10% or something.
Yeah. I mean, you get 2, that's super rare. So, all right. The ultimate element of RNG. Where is Richard Ames? I'm going to say northwest.
The age-old question.
Wow. Never mind.
It's a relatively
That's
good
really
Ames.
good. That is really, really good.
It's quite a good one.
Like Mayu is doing the Claymore strat as well.
Anyway,
Taking it a little bit safer on the punch buffers and with the lines. A bit of a dodgy cartwheel there, but it works. Now Joe is making his exit.
I'll send backup. I have an unknown target here.
Alright, any wagers on Mayu's aims?
Southeast.
Southeast. Middle of the room. Doesn't spawn, says Platonic Guy. Okay, Ed boy.
Lamrang. Keep the faith. According to urban legend or myth, cool man.
Looks like Southwest, so not the greatest in the world. It didn't take the BDU off either, which will lose a couple seconds. But yeah, according to Ed Boy, Ames didn't spawn for him, but he has no proof, and it is considered a meme.
We shot the cipher on the bridge, and the bridge didn't blow up. That's
Which
what
he
we heard him say as
also
well.
didn't record, which is a meme. Can't wait what the rest of the trilogy has to offer. Ew, dodgy cartwheel by Mayu just exiting. Oh, it gets kicked. This is not good.
She knows the backup, so there's your backup.
Knock the guard out, be done with it. So, a little unfortunate time loss between the bad aims and that exit.
It's worse if they get the radio call off, that's for sure.
Yes. Yeah, the alert. You can't interact with the elevator if you get an alert. You can on evasion. All right, Joe with his sensors. That's all I'm going to say.
Such a weird order. Got the weirdest sensor order in the business.
It sort of makes sense, though. Like, it's not a bad order. It's just not what I would do.
It's
But good
uncommon,
sensors.
right? Yeah, it's not bad, it's uncommon.
Yeah, good sensors from Joe. Didn't do the thing. Now let's see what his Harrier is like. 1, 2, 3, a 4, and a 5.
Use this.
Looks like he's
+1?
+1. Yep. Be a perfect carrier. Gets 1 die shot. Should be a perfect carrier. Gets the Stinger Bolt for later, which is, might I say, a little critical in a race. It's good if you screw up Vamp.
It's good
It's
if
also
you want
good
to
if you
use
use
turbo for Vamp.
I was
as
just saying,
well.
for Turbo
Should
Vamp,
fire.
you have to have the ammo, but if you screw up Vamp, you need the extra ammo.
It's a free pickup if you do it like that as well, right? So.
Yep.
That was a really clean Harrier from Joe, as we all know from watching these races over a number of weeks. a Harrier can have some serious variance, and 5+1 is not guaranteed. You know, even if you play perfectly, the game can just take it away from you. So, very good from Joe. Bit of luck on his side as well.
Mayu doing her sensors. All right. Gets the Cypher one. Looks like Joe is doing Chaffless. He wasn't sure if he got the alert. I think he hesitated just to make sure. Neither of them blew up the bridge, which is good. And now let's see what Mayu can do with the Harrier.
What? I'm going to go in my
So it'll be a
pants.
2-shot start.
Nobody's looking, right?
Oh, this is going to go for the third. Yep, she went for the third because she recognized that she did low damage on the Harrier, which would enable you to get a third, and the Harrier still flies away. Gets a couple more shots here. Tries to get one right there. Very nice. So she's going to have at least one die shot. Looks like 2.
She got the Stinger into position quick enough.
Yep.
Ooh, looks like it.
Nice. Very nice Harrier. So that's better than a failed 5+1 Harrier by a few seconds. So very, very nicely executed. She was always one to not go for those extra shots early on in League, but she's getting more and more confidence as League goes on to go for those shots. And she does need a lot.
20-second kind of time save on a Harrier from the start of the League to now.
Yeah, for sure. But she still needs quite a bit to catch up to Joe. I mean, let's be real.
I think a lot of us are looking at Joe thinking we need a lot to catch up.
Yes.
He's pretty fearsome.
Now, I'm fairly certain Joe is at least monitoring his opponent. So I wonder if he usually goes for swim glitch no matter what, but with this kind of lead, I think he still will just for the practice. But we've seen Joe lose over a minute on swim glitch before, but he's done very, very well in league play. So
yeah, I don't think there's no doubt in my mind whether or not Joe will go for it. He will do swim glitch. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, as Lime said, he wants to keep his cumulative IGT as low as possible, which he does have like an excellent record so far. He really does have one of the best averages.
Now I'm kind of forecasting this, but there could be a potential 3-way tie for second if certain scenarios play out for the number 2 seed between Joe, Platonic Guy, and Plywood. And that average could come into play. We've seen both Plywood and Platonic have some subpar performances while Joe has been a little more consistent. So that could get him a better position come playoff time.
See what you've all done, right? You've said it every race, and now it's in the chat as well. Every single time we get to this Nikita part of the game. Yes,
You know,
I killed the president once.
I actually forgot about it, so thank you, chat, for reminding me. I will refresh the story real quick. So Apache was on world record pace for the HD collection, and killed the president, trying to beat my record. It takes 2 shots to kill the president on very easy.
It's straight up like a 2-minute time loss because you fire both the Nikitas badly, and then you have to restart the whole room again.
Yeah, there's no excuse. No excuse.
It's like straight up 2 minutes.
I did die to Fortune on easy, but it's easy, so it's a meme category, and that doesn't count since I already have record in it. So
yeah, I've died to Fortune on very easy.
Yes. All right. Anyway, here we go. Joe with. Oh, I thought he wasn't for a second, but he's going for it. He faked us out.
Yeah, of course he's going for it. No, there was no doubt in my mind even for a second.
Not a good start.
That was rough. That's one of those that you just abandon straight away. Like if that happens, you just go no.
Oh, Joe, this is bleeding.
Joe, how many tries are you gonna do at this?
3 cycle. Nope, not high. You gotta get more height.
You gotta get way more height.
Like,
He's up, but he's gotta.
he's not going to lose much time on that. That's a long 4 cycle, so he'll probably break even or maybe lose a couple seconds versus swimming. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter on this race, barring something major. But yeah, not super good. If you fail early on, you got to just abandon it and run. Good vamp from Mr. Joe.
Whatever.
The swim clutch apocalypse that I was telling you all about for a long time has come to pass. There are now way more than half the runners in league doing swim glitch on almost every attempt.
It's especially easier with turbo because you can just hold circle and concentrate on your left input, whether that's with D-pad or analog. So it's definitely a lot more free to go for. But Joe isn't a turbo user yet because he's had problems setting it up. So he did that all like naturally without any turbo.
What a flex. What an absolute flex.
And he hasn't used turbo the entire league, and he's got a 6-1 record. And I play this dude next week, so he beats me. He could be the top dog in league.
He doesn't really have bad races. That's the thing about playing against Joe. It's like, even if you play your best, it might not be good enough because Joe's going to play his best as well.
Yeah, and despite the issues against Platonic last week, I think if Platonic didn't have issues, he probably still would have beaten him. He was playing that well. So I definitely underestimated what he could do in this league. So everybody's favorite part, Emma Escort for Joe. Mayu opting out of Swim Glitch and going to fight the little vampire dude for the first time.
We've certainly seen some mistakes on that fight as well. It's not an easy fight. It's an easy fight until you lose concentration.
Turbo is legal. It was legalized by the community a number of weeks ago. So
I think a big concern about this game is that you.
Oh, and Mayu misses Vamp.
Unfortunate. Don't waste those stingers. You gotta let him come out of the water.
Yep, she knows her backups. So only one stinger left. So okay, not bad. Oh, she's only gonna lose about 5 seconds because of that. So that's not too bad.
Yeah, you lose 8 and gain 3 back because you get the faster cutscene. If you do the Stinger Vamp, he plays a very slow death animation, which loses time. If the fight proceeds to a further point along, the death scene is actually 3 seconds faster. Yeah, so Turbo is legalized basically because in this game you have to press X constantly, and essentially some people have wrist problems. Not to mention the European Extreme Torture on Substance is extremely taxing on a person's hand. So Turbo is blanket legalized with an agreement by the community probably like 4 or 5 weeks ago, something like that now.
Yeah, and it's what it really does is it kind of evens the playing field because on the PC version in V's Fix, there's actually built-in turbo that anybody can use, and it functions the same way for everybody. So as long as they have turbo, then it functions the exact same way for everybody every single time. So it actually makes the races somewhat more exciting, more competitive, just because it evens everything out. It's a good quality of life change.
Yeah, it's even parts of the game that were essentially quite dull. I made the bits that aren't dull more hype. I think everyone who runs the game is pretty much happy with it, from what I understand.
Yeah, the original intention was for the torture, because the torture on PC is 50 seconds. It's even longer on the PS2 version of this game for European Extreme. That's a lot on anybody's wrist, and that really prevents a lot of people from running European Extreme on these versions of the game. But you can't police it, so you either have to allow it totally or don't allow it at all. We decided to allow it totally, and I think it's just a better quality of life change for everybody, especially on the PC version. Console's a little different. It's a lot harder to use turbo on there, requires other stuff, but it's there if people wish to use it. So
And the game continues to develop. We've seen a lot of changes in MGS2 very easy. Just in the past year, route changes, new strats being found. I mean, me and you were never the people to say the game's at the maximum or whatever, or say, oh, it's done now, we won't find anything else. We're always looking for more. But would you have expected as much as was found this year to be found?
I wouldn't think so. Like, I mean, the turbo thing was big. There's been a lot of little optimizations. I mean, at the start of the year, the record was still a 103, 30 something, and we've brought it down to a 101.55. So we brought it down almost 2 minutes on a pretty optimized category in 12 months, which is incredible.
Yeah, it's still going in the right direction, and I'm sure, as we said at 104, and as we said at 103, as we said at 102, and as we'll say at 101, 1 hour is not possible right now, but who knows?
I can say that pretty confidently at this point, just with the current strategies we have and how, like, it is possible, yes, but how perfect you would have to play is just, it's not realistic as a human to play like that to get a 100.59. It's just not possible. Like,
Yeah,
I see there's a strategy you can use on Harrier. It's a 6-shot Harrier that can save about 15 seconds. Even with that, and you play perfect, you're getting a low 101, like a 101 1x at absolute best, and you got to play perfect. It's just not happening unless we find a skip, which, speaking of, we do have a bounty for it. So to anybody that finds a significant skip, time save, whatever, in any version of the game, you could make yourself a cool $1,000.
And Joe writing out T on the wall. MGT is our marathon starting tomorrow at 11 a.m. EST. We have a marathon all day Friday, relay race Saturday, and a further day of marathon speedrun action on the Sunday to celebrate the channel becoming affiliate. Thank you for everyone who's been supporting, by the way. I know a lot of people have been subbing already. We do have incentives for number of subs, which will give us some bonus runs in the marathon. I know there's a Metal Gear 2 run as a bonus run. That's Metal Gear 2, the original, not Metal Gear Solid 2. We have plenty of Metal Gear Solid 2 already in the marathon as well. I don't want to say how much it is because I'm not sure. Full details tomorrow, but there may be a possibility of me doing a bonus run of Metal Gear Solid 3 European Extreme Tuxedo.
Well, I can tell you about the Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake by Mini Omega King. If we get to 25 subs, there will be a bonus run of that, and we are pretty close as it sits. So I think like 5 or 6 away. So, and then there'll be an extra bonus for MGS3 Tuxedo by the dude who kills the president. So should be good stuff.
I'm really looking forward to it. I've got the whole weekend put aside to just enjoy that. I love it whenever we run events, everyone just like hanging out in the Discord together, enjoying themselves and seeing all the different runs that community members do. I think everyone's kind of looking forward to seeing Metal Gear Solid Mobile run for the first time. It's going to be an interesting one.
Yep, DSmon is running MGS Mobile, going for Big Boss rank, I believe. Very, very interesting game. Should be a good run as well. Jaguar King will actually be kicking off the marathon with Metal Gear Solid 4, which he'll be running at AGDQ next month. It's already close to GDQ time again. But yeah, a lot of action on the marathon days. We'll have a VR block on Friday night, featuring VR1, VR2, and Ghost Babel VR. So a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff going on. So be sure to tune in and check it out.
There was something I wanted to say before with the hour flat, but it's kind of gone from my brain now. Oh, what I did want to say is, typically Metal Gear Solid 2 is not described as a game with a lot of RNG in it. It's got very minimal RNG actually. The Olga position is random, whether it's left or right. The pattern the guard rush guards take out is can be slightly. There can be slight differences whether they like crouch first or they proceed to the other side of the room or they roll out. It's very minor. All the instances of RNG in the game are nothing compared to a game like Resident Evil 4, when you can have some element of randomness in quite a lot of the rooms. But when you're going for the absolute best time, when you're talking about like an hour flat time, every one of those instances of RNG can kill your run in some way. I think one of the main things we all like about this game is how small the RNG is. You know, when you look at racing the game, it very much is a game of skill.
It is. It really is, and that's what's really nice about this is you just don't have a lot of BS to worry about, if you will. At high level, there is, especially on VE, but it is still very minimal. It's not an RNG heavy game. You don't have to rely on a whole lot of luck. So you just have to play well.
Yeah, I mean, I have lost races to a difference in an aims position, but it was all the other mistakes involved that really lost me the race.
So Joe is out of sniping, heading to the Shell 1 core for the final time. Gotta make sure you don't take a death or continue here, because on any of these time sections where it says time left, you go back to the beginning of the time section, and that is a pretty costly continue if you do get one here. But Joe has made his slave feet to the core, and he is entering Arsenal gear.
He's played well, Joe. He's played really, really well.
Jack, are you
On his way to...
Outside of a slight mistake at Fat Man, that's the only mistake I've really seen him make. Swim glitch didn't save any time, but he didn't really lose any versus swimming through normally.
Yeah, I don't think it's PB pace. I think that probably cost him a chance at a PB, but I think it's still going to be maybe a mid 103 as long as he plays well the rest of the way, which will stay consistent for his average.
Hell of a player.
He is. And I get to play the dude next week, but I get to play Platonic Guy next, which is makes me want to wet my pants. But
yeah, coming up next, you versus Platonic, Seed 1 versus Seed 2, in terms of leaderboard standing for the official records. You haven't lost a game. Platonic has lost one game in very peculiar circumstances. I think it's a loss, but there's a huge star next to it and some additional text saying that he may not have lost based on his skill as a player.
I think he still would have lost to Joe, honestly, with how well Joe was playing.
At that point in the run.
But it's still, you don't know. You don't know.
I've seen Platonic make all sorts of mistakes and get like a mid 102. So I don't understand the game when he plays it, if I'm honest with you. I think we've got quite opposing playstyles too.
One thing I'll say is Joe enters Jurgenum, which is a very dangerous room. Platonic's kind of been all over the board. His last race out, he got a 106. Like, a lot of memeing, sure, but he's not been too consistent. So, don't know.
I don't know either, but I'm looking forward to finding out. It's gonna be
Yeah, I think we have a good chance to see two 102s. I don't think we'll see a 101. If I lose to a 101, then there's nothing I can do. But I think we'll see two 102s. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be very, very close.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. That will be commentated by MayuuChaan and Joe, the two people you see racing here. So they're just going to come straight out of their game and jump in the commentary booth that we definitely sat in right now. We're not in our own homes. So yeah, giving their all to the VE League.
He's playing the codec.
Raw blink on Harry Carry Rock. I need scissors. 61.
What a memer. What a memer. I think he read chat.
You had to know he was going to do that. I mean, come on. Come on now.
Yeah. It's going to cost him time, but it's not going to cost him that much. So, I would never do that because I like my 102s. Thank you very much. So,
I played it during my race with you when I was about 10 or 15 minutes behind or whatever it was.
yeah, you had no chance. Anyway, so got to swipe the blade here or stab. And then you can just meme for 45 seconds. As long as you
What are you thinking?
stay north of where you spawn, as long as Snake isn't chasing you when the 45-second timer is up, then you can actually advance.
We get like a little vote going who you think is going to win between D-Limes and Platonic Guy. If you think Platonic Guy is going to win, press 1. And if you think D-Limes is going to win, press D-Limes is an idiot in the chat. I think it's going to be the kind of match that we all want to see.
I don't know. Here's the other thing too. I took the day off yesterday. I didn't touch anything. I slept basically the whole day, other than work. I've not touched this game in 2 days. I'm gonna practice for like a minute beforehand. That's it. I'm cold, so we'll see. But if I lose, I lose. Whatever.
I find sometimes it's best to take a hands-off approach.
Playoffs are more important to me anyway. I want to win that league championship.
They've got
True that.
Whatever.
Oh, over practicing for an event is one of the worst things you can do.
Agreed. So, 2 clean Trigeniums. Joe starting his Tengu 2, going for the Bestwick setup.
I hate this position. It's too normal.
I think Mayu's playing the codec as well. What memers?
There's a mutual respect and love of me between these two players. And both of these players are part of the MGS2 social media team as well. So if you see any jokes on the Twitter, it's probably them. Yeah, they got Rose. Good. Keeper.
Alright, and Joe... Looks like there's... Okay, Joe is out of Tengu Dos and waiting at the race stage to start the fight. So, looks like it's going to be a relatively easy win for Joe to go to 7-1.
Creating the perfect assassin to retire.
Hold on, what will Joe's record be after this race?
7-1.
Are you kidding me right now?
His only loss is a close loss to BMN.
We had to drag him into the league kicking and screaming. He was like, oh, I don't know about half time.
Yeah, he has gone all in, and he is going to be a force come playoff time. And if he beats me next week, which there's a chance that could happen. Oh boy, he could win the whole thing.
I'm pretty sure I can weave Joe beating you into any conversation. Like, I'm pretty sure I could bring it up in every single conversation we have.
Before the mission entered the final phase, you came in handy as bait.
He ain't beating me. Anyway,
Jack, those days during the Civil War were as real as they come. Every day was absolute. Split between life.
Glenn, I've been trying to get runner cams in since the beginning.
And now you've been led back to war by something.
yeah, you wouldn't want to see my face when I was playing Plywood Week 2. That was my worst race, and I thought I was going to lose that. Like, holy crap. No thanks. Alright, Joe going for the more traditional race setup. Very good. One more boss to go. Plus torture.
GW, the Arsenal AI is corrupted beyond repair. I admit that I underestimated you.
Mayu just in the middle of her Tengu too, doing the best Wick setup as well. Not doing too bad.
I think Mario's kept up really well outside of a few mishaps, and like it is a shame to get a continue in the hold. It doesn't feel good. We've all done it, and the gap can feel insurmountable at times
It
during
could
a
be
race.
just doing some basic math right now. It could be an outside chance at a PB for Mayu. It's maybe we'll see.
I'd love to
So.
see that. And it's one of those where you just think, after the race, you just think, what could have been if I didn't get that continue early in the holes? But that's the nature of the beast. It's game over if discovered for those areas of the game.
We're still here. All right.
He played another
gosh,
codec.
no.
God, that's
now,
three.
Mine was
He's
playing
played
a
three.
cutscene before as well, so
Oh, jeez.
they're both taking the proverbial.
They're just being silly at this point. Like, oh well.
We got it. She can't hear us, but we definitely got it. Write that in the chat, right? We definitely got it.
All right, Joe starting his Solidus. Gonna do a punch at the start. 3 slashes. Get away. So do base rockets. Rinse and repeat 2 more times to get to the second phase of the fight. Looks to be pretty clean.
He's nice and close to Solidus, keeping it in. Hopefully no long dash, that's good. Good range to get the immediate dash as well, which is certainly possible. Solidus may come straight at him at this range here.
Shoutouts to Lan Sandwich with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much for your generosity. Much appreciated. Joe goes for a beautiful parry, and that is time for Joe.
Well played by Joe. Outside of very small mistakes and some memes, it was an exceptionally clean run, even by his own standard.
I admit that I underestimated you.
Yeah, very good run. I think probably maybe a low 104 with the memes.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but 7-1, 7-1, and regardless of the outcome between me and Platonic, he will have a chance next week to get the #1 seed.
What a story for young Joe.
Yeah, unreal for sure. I pegged him with only a few wins, so that's how dumb I am.
Joe has beat me one time in all the times we've raced, which was obviously in the league as well. And, I said to him, it was like, I'll absolutely always give it my all against you, and I did, and he was the better player. So it's wonderful to see him playing at such a high level and doing really well in this competition.
Yeah, I think we'll see a 102 out of him pretty soon. Very soon.
Yeah, promptly.
Yeah, I'd say so. So let's see what Mayu does to finish her run. Like I said, outside chance at PB, depending on the Solidus fight, I would think. Little trouble with those slashes. Alright, decent there. One more set to go to second phase. She's going around the rockets instead of cartwheeling through them, so a little safer. Gets a short dash from Solidus.
Good work, Jack. But this is where it gets interesting.
Gets some extra dashes, unfortunately. Really bad RNG and gets knocked down. That's unfortunate. Really bad. Holy crap.
If Solidus pushes you far enough away with his slashes while you're blocking, he can dash away as well.
A really unfortunate fight, but that is the fight for Mayu, and that's the match. So per VE League rules, we will go to the score screen for both of these competitors, so we'll sit through the credits. We'll try to get Joe in here for an interview, and then we'll get you ready for 1 versus 2 coming up next.
That's it.
going to be the biggest game of the E-League, certainly in terms of hype, certainly in terms of curiosity for what's going to happen. You've both raced a few times. Who's to say who's in command of that one?
And we have a Mayu joining us. Welcome.
I mean, was going better than expected, to be fair.
Yeah, like I was saying on the broadcast, maybe an outside chance at a PB, who knows? The Solidus fight was a little rough, but I think you played
the
pretty well.
Solidus trolled me pretty hard. I mean,
And-
overall some mistakes here and there for sure, but could have been worse for sure.
And we have the winner, new 7-1, Joseph Joestar. Congrats.
I only got one thing to say. Anybody got Scissor 61? I left mine at home.
I even played the codec, but then I realized, damn, German subtitles. I don't know if anyone will get it, but I guess that's like the only codec you are playing there. So.
Well, what matters is we're the first probably race to ever play the codec on both sides of it, so I'm happy for
real?
that. I think so. I did.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I was already behind going into Arsenal gear, and then after my swim glitch, I kind of just stopped caring about the run after that because I was like,
What
not really
happened
much.
What happened with your swim glitch? I just saw in chat something at swim glitch. So
it took like 4 cycles to get it. It was pretty bad.
I was actually thinking about doing it because I was practicing it, and then I was like, nah, gotta practice that more.
Yeah, no, Bob Diffusal was pretty standard for me. Fat Man, I don't know, a little bit unlucky, got away from me, and then I had to throw away the magazine clip because that would have ruined the mine strat if I didn't do that. Harrier was probably the only good thing I could be happy with.
I was pretty happy with my Harrier as well.
Yeah, I saw you did like a different setup. I don't think you went for the 5+1, did you?
No, I'm going for a 3+6 or a 3+5.
Nice.
Yeah, and I actually got it pretty well, and this is like the thing I practice the most, so I know, okay, I don't hit this, so I know, okay, fast running back, and I know my positions where I can still hit the die shots, so I ended it on die shots.
Yeah, and then
it's really clean. We mentioned that you're taking more risks with the Harrier. You were throwing out more shots after the overhead. Compared from the start of the league to now, you're probably saving 15-20 seconds on what you were originally doing, and still some more time saved to go. I mean, it's only 2 shots different now.
Yeah, definitely has come a long way since the start of league, and she's definitely gaining more confidence. And I do want to give a quick shout out to Never Ending Backlog with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you for the support. We do appreciate that.
Joe, well done, mate. Really solid performance.
Because
to your average, solid average overall.
Because Lime just asked, yeah, it's the Ich brauche Schere 61. That's exactly the one.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I don't know. It went pretty standard for most of it, and then just, I don't know, time loss here, time loss there, and then that garden strut A. I was really pissed off he kicked me, because I had a feeling it was going to happen, but I went for it anyway with the run-through bump, and then I figured I'd make my point clear just to not punch him and leave and let him know not to do it again.
For me, standard stuff, getting continue and holds. What do you expect otherwise?
Oh, was it the projector?
I missed the flick shot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I give you credit for at least going for the flick shot. I don't go for it.
Risk. Then I was going safe and just used your strat and shot the guard right at the beginning.
Yeah, my whole 2 dominoes is very risky.
My whole 2s, I'm still surprised that I did not get caught there, because
I saw your second to last guard, you bumped into one you didn't need to and stuck up the one after, and I was like, man, that's something I usually do.
But hey, I got through it, so
yeah, you made it through. That's important.
Well, it was definitely entertaining. A lot of memeing going on for sure, especially in the later part of the game. But definitely,
why memeing? I was just throwing smiley there.
No, I think he's talking about me.
Both of you.
codec calls and stuff. More so out of Joe. Joe
I mean,
is the mean king. So
I'm gonna
I just
borrow
want to
Apache's
say.
line in this one. Hey, man, I'm just having fun.
yeah,
I was
there's
just
nothing wrong.
enjoying myself.
Hey, if you have fun and win, that's a huge flex and win in my book. That's
Yeah. I mean,
badass.
it's also a huge win if you're just having fun, which is what I had.
Oh yeah.
Plus, I figured I'd give the people what they want when I was seeing the call for the Scissors Codex, so I figured, what the hell?
I wasn't even looking at chat because at this point I was like before judging them and had my focus on there, but I knew for sure when I looked at sniping and saw you were that far ahead, I was like, okay, I'm gonna play it just for the memes.
Yeah, there you go.
And Joe, I gave you a tribute again. I threw the smiley again.
Of course, I always try to make a point to draw the smiley, and nice promotional for our T event marathon relay, which is starting tomorrow.
Yep.
If you want to know more about MGT, be sure to check out those links in the chat. Starting at 11 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow.
I would like to watch chat, but there are some options in front of chat for me.
All right, coming up on the score screen for Mr. Joe.
Yeah,
It
a
is
bit longer
a
for me to go.
104.12.
I should have held it for 8 seconds and then confirm it.
Okay, so it's no PB for me when we're like 2.5 minutes off.
Yeah, it probably won't be at this point, but still, it'll still be a good 106 for you. Not too far off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I broke my cardinal rule about this run and forgot to record, but I did have my splits up, which kind of already told me, how this was going to play out after getting an Arsenal.
Okay, to be fair, I didn't really have much confidence in this run to begin with, so I didn't even bother to record it.
We don't need to. We're recording it. It's all recorded.
No, but I mean, it's this rule that Tyler, put into my head at the very beginning when I was learning to run this game, which was always record your attempts. And I learned that lesson like the following stream, which, internet went out. I didn't locally record. VOD was cut. And then it was like, well, there goes that run. It's like, never again.
Yeah, but for me, it's like, even if this would have been a PB, I could just use the WOD of the stream, so it's not that bad if I don't record that.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your setup. Some people it's too resource intensive to do both at the same time. But
For
if you
me,
can,
for me
I
it
would definitely
isn't.
recommend it.
But again, I wasn't really confident in the run to begin with. It went way better than expected. I really thought I'd get a high 107, 108, like going into the run.
I think your early continue was hold 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's, with respect to that, I mean, I still say that was a, halfway decent run. I mean, for me, I just kind of, I don't know, tried to go for PB strats, and then halfway through I realized, yep, there's no pulling this back after the swim glitch, so I figured I'd just screw around.
For me, it's still a pretty decent run, regarding the fact that my PB is a low 106. Getting constant 106 is pretty good for my standards. I'll take it, especially looking at the fact that I didn't really practice too much the last week because I was busy doing other stuff.
I mean, we got lots of stuff coming up, and score screen.
Yep, score screen for Mayu coming up should be around a 106-ish, I would think. And it is a
106.50.
106.50. So a little bit off the PB, but not too bad.
Yeah.
Like we said, winner to Mr. Joe's 7-1 has a chance to lock up possibly a number 1 seed next week if he gets a win against me. So we will see. But up next.
Crap.
Yeah.
Again, GG, Joe.
Hey, GG's, Mayu.
But yeah, GG's to both competitors. We will get you set for the next matchup, which is myself versus Platonic Guy. Should be a very, very interesting matchup.
And hey, Joe and I can stay here.
Yep, these two will be commentating while I'm racing the Platonic Guy dude thing. So stick around.